Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. On Friday, September the 8th, the word that I did was and showcase was prideful. Prideful was the word that I showcased. I want to do a quick recap for those of you that may have not missed, that may not was able to catch it. The word was prideful, and the definition for prideful is thinking too highly on oneself, being conceited, arrogant, or overconfident. One more time, prideful, thinking too highly of oneself, being conceited, arrogant, and overconfident. I hope that this weekend was great for you. You had a fantastic weekend. You were rested. I also hope that you were able to go by and purchase you some good shoes because we get ready to walk on this road to wisdom. So let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and this is my show, The Road to Wisdom, and you are most welcome. Come on in and join me. Um, it's a beautiful day here in South Carolina. It is Monday morning, September the 11th, and I have a fantastic word for you today. I think you're going to definitely enjoy the word, and I got a lot to speak on it. And I hope that whatever I speak on it resonates with you, and you are able to learn something from it and make you say, I never thought about that, or Danny, you did a good job. Anyway, get right into it. The word for the day is, as you can see here, boom, insecure. Insecure is the word of the day. And we know sometime in our life, in some shape, form, or fashion, we all felt that insecurity about certain things in our life, about maybe this or that, or seeing someone, or looking a certain way, or not having this or not having that. Insecurity is something that is alive and well here today here in uh, today's world, and it was back in biblical times. And guess what? It's still here. Like I said, it's alive and well. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it. As always, I give you the definition of the word, and the definition of insecure is not confident or assured, uncertain, and anxious. I'll say it one more time. Not confident or assured, uncertain, and anxious. A lot of times we're anxious about stuff. That's a sign of being insecure. The scripture today comes from the book of Philippians, the fourth chapter, the sixth through seventh verse, and it reads as follows: Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Say it one more time. It comes from the book of Philippians, the fourth chapter, the sixth through seventh verse, and it reads as follows: Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. We've all, like I said earlier, have been anxious, uncertain, not confident, and a lot of times that can be from like maybe things that we thought something was going to be very bad if we didn't do it, or like stage fright or something, or if we get to present to someone. Or I remember a lot of time being anxious about Easter speeches. Remember that when you used to be a little kid, or sometimes even adult, and you memorize the Easter speech, and you just read it over and over and over, and you're like, God, I'm gonna get up there, and I'm not gonna be able to remember it. And then you go up there, and the day of Easter, you see people that go in front of you, and some of them don't remember it, and that just makes your anxiety that much more higher. You be like, I don't feel too assured about this, what's going to happen. But then you go up there and you start, and the flow is going, and guess what? Next thing you know, you said it, and you sit down, and it's a sigh of relief. But guess what? You're very, very anxious. Well, the first time you had to present in front of your colleagues, or at some big maybe event you had to go and talk to, and you were asked to be a guest speaker. I know the first time I was asked to speak about something, I was a little anxious. So I was like, man, I don't want to get up here and say something crazy or stumble over my words. And I still have a little bit of anxiousness too when I'm doing this show right here. I always pray to God, Lord, please let me be able to present your word in a pleasing way, Lord, and deliver it so people can understand it and that it resonates with them. That I'm able to pronounce and enunciate my words. I try to speak very, very carefully and clearly. And sometimes when I'm going to play back, I'll be like, but hey, God is telling me to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and roll with it and let you know that if I do make mistakes or something or stumbles, it's from a place of love. It's not a place of trying to not give you the correct information, because I want to definitely give you the correct information, and I definitely want whatever I talk about or speak on to resonate with you. But also, there's several ways and several different things we can be anxious and insecure about. And one of the things is sometimes it's appearance, how you look. Sometimes you don't think you look up to snuff, or you don't think you look as good. I think more so in women, they're worried about their appearances, how their hair, and how they look, how they carry themselves, and if they think they're not up to par or something, they can be insecure about stuff. And a lot of times I've seen now, especially in the younger generation, I don't know if it's the way they were taught or not taught, but particularly for me, like in a business setting, they don't dress appropriately. They'll wear stuff, like, to me, it's just a no brainer. If I'm going to an interview or a business meeting or something, I'm going to try and wear something along the lines of a shirt and a tie, a jacket. Most times, if it's an interview, I'm wearing a suit. So I encourage everybody, especially men, buy yourself one good suit for interviews, maybe two. One for interviews, one for church. Females, buy you good pantsuits. Don't go cheap on it. Get you something that's going to last you for a while. So put that extra money into it. Let's just say, for instance, you spend $50 in an outfit. The ladies can get stuff a little bit cheaper than men can, as far as suits. Spend $150. Get you something that's nice, that's going to last, something that's classic, that so it will stay in style. I've been in interviews. I've seen people come in short dresses and flip flops and all kind of crazy stuff, not made up or not hair done correctly or whatever. And you're giving an impression. You're trying to put your best version of yourself forward, your best foot forward. And when you're not all the way put together, a lot of times it can hurt your interview process. Well, to me, it may not cost you a job, but you'll get points, the ding points, I call them. Didn't dress right, didn't look right, or this, and this. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying the impression that I'm getting, that if you really want this job, you're going to look your best, at least in my opinion. When I won't go to job interviews, I don't wear uniforms and stuff. I wear a suit, and I got several suits, but I got at least one, my go-to business suit or business attire that I wear, because I want to impress the people that I'm interviewing. That look, I really want this job, so I'm coming here showing you my best. But some people can be insecure about that. They don't know how to dress. I don't know whether it's a lack of knowledge, whatever. But appearance overall is a very basic category that people can feel insecurity about. Also, your physical appearance. Some people have issues with weight. I know I have. My family has always had issues with weight. A lot of my family. And I think some of it's hereditary. Some of it's that we live in the South and we like to eat good food and fried chicken, all that stuff that's not good for us. We love to eat that in abundance. Cake, pies, all that good stuff. But I had got to way, well, not way over, but I've gotten, my heaviness was 306, and I just did not like how I felt. Didn't like how I looked in certain clothes and how I looked, and wasn't able to walk from here to there without breathing hard, all that kind of stuff. So I made a conscious effort to do something about that. And I've lost about 65 pounds now. So I still want to get a little bit lower, but I feel a whole lot better in my appearance as far as how I look in clothes and stuff, and different aspects in my mind. And then I don't know how others see me. Maybe they see me differently, but I see myself differently now when I go to the store now, and my pant size are 3 or 4. In some cases, by almost 5 sizes less or lower than it was. That really motivates me, and is a very good feeling. So a lot of times people can be insecure about their intelligence. If they're around a bunch of people that has PhDs and degrees and double majors in this and all this kind of stuff, and then you don't have a PhD, and maybe you're not as well spoken as those that do, or maybe you feel like you're just not as smart as your counterparts and stuff, that can also make you give you a feeling of insecurity. And those ways you can fix that. You can always improve yourself. You can go to college now because it's so easy compared to when I was 30, 40 years ago when rents weren't as easy as they are now. Going online was not even a possibility, but now several of my colleagues and coworkers getting their degrees online, and it's just much more convenient than it once was, and easier to obtain. But also, um, a lot of times, you can feel insecure or feel like you're outclassed, outmatched because of lack of education. Like I said, you can always there's always different avenues and different things you can do to improve your overall intelligence, your skill set, and you just have to want to put in the work. You're just going to have to put in the work for it, looking for it, far as doubling down and going to that place and doing the self improvement, the work that you need. But a lot of times, it can be sometimes you're put in position because of not what you know, but who you know. But if you put in that position for what you know, then you need to be confident in your ability and don't worry about the people that have all these degrees and stuff. Because if you have the experience and the individual has the degrees but not the experience, then you're more valuable to your boss in that particular situation in that company. But if you want to be more competitive, then and go further, then sometimes you're gonna have to just go ahead and do the hard thing and say, look, I just got to double down. I just got to go ahead and get this degree. I just got to go online. I got to put in the time, and that way that can also help combat some of your insecurity that you may feel if you're less qualified in an educational standpoint. Um, a lot of times you can be insecure socially. A lot of people aren't social butterflies. A lot of people have social issues and are challenged socially and don't make friends easily. A lot of people are introverts, and an introvert is someone that likes to keep to themselves. We got a lot of people that want to stay in this computer world. They're online. They're keyboard warriors. They like to stay online. They like to play these games. They like to tweet and text and stuff. How many times you go into a restaurant or any event, a bunch of people sit around the table, but all of them are in their phones. No one's talking. They're in their cyber world, what I call it. And a lot of times you can be insecure when you're in the real world because you got to learn those skills. You got to learn those social skills, those social cues, and how to interact with people. And one of my grandsons, he's becoming an introvert. All he wants to do is stay on the computer all day long playing Fortnite. And we're like, no, you're not going to do that. You have to go and interact with your other people. During school, he interacts with other people. And in fact, you got a birthday coming up this weekend, and we got him a truck that you can play all different kind of games. But he's inviting a lot of his friends over, so they'll be able, as well as being in that world, there'll be some social interaction. But a lot of times, if you don't have that social interaction and stuff, it can give you a sense of insecurity because you just don't know how to act because you're used to being by yourself in your own world doing your own things. But in order for you to thrive and be successful, you have to have those social skills. So, but if you don't, that can also give someone an anxiety and make you anxious when you actually have to integrate yourselves and become a part of a social networking team or have to engage with people on a social level. So definitely can make you insecure. A lot of times if you don't have enough money to buy the proper clothes, you don't have the proper money itself because maybe you don't have a good job or maybe the job that you have because of lack of your education can't get you where you want to be. So a lot of times if your friends or your other classmates or colleagues, whatever, they have better clothes than you, then that can make you insecure too because you concerned about how you dress and how you look because they got a nice Tom Ford suits or whatever the case may be, or they may have a $1,000 suits and you can only afford a $200 suit. As long as you carry yourself well and then you work hard, then the finances will come. But a lot of times on your road to getting to where you want to get, you can feel insecure because you think you don't match up because you don't have the money, you don't have the clothes or have the outward appearance, the polished look that your colleagues or friends may have, and that can also cause you to be insecure. Again, with money, somehow not having a job, or you had a good job and then you lost your job because of cutbacks or whatever the case may be, and now you dip into your savings and you can't go out and do the things you used to do. Now your friends are kind of like looking at you, and you feel it. Well, in your mind, you're feeling insecure, but your friends, if they're your true blue friends, they understand that and they'll try to look out for you and try to get you back on your feet and stuff. But sometimes while you're getting through that back on your feet process and getting your bearings about you, you can feel insecure because, man, I used to make all this kind of money and I used to do this. Now I'm unemployed and I can't go out and do things I used to do. I'm about to lose my house. I'm about to lose my car. I'm about to lose my wife, my husband, whatever the case may be. And it can definitely cause anyone to feel insecure. So those are just a few examples of insecurity. In my research, I found out there were three different types of insecurity. The first type of insecurity is personal insecurity, and I touched a little bit on that. If you're in a relationship, no, if you're the individual and you have self doubt about yourself, you think that maybe your body type's not right, you think that maybe your money's not right, you think that whatever the case may be that personally affects you and what you personally project, if you think that's not right, it's going to make you feel insecure, especially if you don't think you're smart enough, if you think you're not fit enough, you think that you're overweight, or you think you're too skinny, or whatever that's going on, whatever flaw in your mind is overshadowing all your potential or your main your positive characteristics that can cause a feeling of insecurity. So you got to get your mind right and about your personal appearance and about and how you're going to project yourself. Because if you project yourself from a standpoint of being anxious, uncertain, and negative, then it can potentially run people off or give people a bad taste in your mouth and don't want them to work with you. And that's only going to further perpetuate your insecure feelings. So that's one way, one kind of insecurity, your personal insecurity. Second example of or second type of insecurity is professional insecurity. If you're at work at your job and you think that somebody is after your job and you become paranoid and you just start doing crazy stuff, or you not want to share your knowledge and not want to be a team player when people ask you for help or someone asks you about, what do you do and how you do that? And you're like, what are you going to do that for? In your mind, you're saying, you want my job? I know someone that was like that in my department. Did not want to be a team player, did not want to share his knowledge with other people because he felt like if he taught somebody his job, then they were going to take it, or he's going to get fired and somebody's going to take his job. Nobody wanted to take his job, but that's just how he felt. I guess in the past he was done wrong or something, and he had that bad taste in his mouth. He had that insecurity, and he was not going to share the information that he once had. And the only thing that does is not only it hurts you and paints you in a negative picture and paints you as being selfish, it also going to ultimately it could hurt the department or the organization that you're working for, because everybody should know a little bit. Well, there should be one person in every position. There should be two or three people that can do that. It should be plug in. So if, say for instance, I go on sick leave for an extended period of time, or I go on vacation, or something happens that's catastrophic, someone should be able to fill in my position until I'm able to come back, because you don't want to have so much information and so much one person doing so much stuff and nobody else knowing how to do it. To me, that's just crazy. You're setting yourself up for failure if you run your organization like that. You should always have at least two people that can do something and have access to something. So in the case of one gets sick or one leaves and goes somewhere else, or someone is go on vacation or something, you can always have a backup plan. To not have a backup plan in a professional setting, to me, is crazy. It can potentially cripple your organization until you can get up to speed training somebody else. And last type of insecurity is relationship insecurity. How many times have we seen a boyfriend or a girlfriend jealous of the other one, or thinking to themselves, man, how did I get her? How did I get him? He's gorgeous or she's gorgeous, and I just don't understand. I just got to make sure I stay on top of them, because if I don't watch them like a hawk or stay on them 24/7, someone's going to steal them from me. Someone has a lot of insecurities like that. Or if you're at a social event and someone, you see your wife or you see your husband talking to another man or woman and stuff, and that man or woman in your mind is gorgeous or whatever, and you would not be gorgeous, but it's giving them a lot of attention. And sometimes you can be a little jealous, and then sometimes that jealousy can turn into insecurity. But I'm of the mindset that if your wife or your husband is really about something and they're really into you, and there are always exceptions to the rule, but if they're really into you and they're loyal to you and they are obeying their vows, then you have nothing to worry about. You just shouldn't be insecure unless you do something stupid or do something crazy, or you go out there and cheat, or you go out there and be a drunkard, and drinking and acting crazy, or getting on some kind of negative vibe, like dependent on drugs, or stealing money or spending money at a high rate or doing something crazy that's going to be detrimental to the relationship. But as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, and that woman or man married you or dating you and they're really about you, then there's no reason to feel insecure. But a lot of times we see a lot of insecurity, which could be from being immature, which could be from you had a previous relationship and the person cheated on you, and maybe seeing some of the same red flags or indicators that led to that person breaking your heart or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times you just got to just be yourself and just have an open line of communication and say, hey, look, yesterday we went such and such. I didn't like this because of ABC 1, 2, 3, and have that conversation. Have that uncomfortable conversation. But a lot of times things in the past can come back and rear their ugly head and cause problems for relationships now in the present. So just make sure those are the three different types of, like I said, insecurities: personal insecurity, professional insecurity, and relationship insecurity. So just make sure that you're aware of those, and if you have any issues in any one of those three categories, to try to work on that. There were 10 different ways you can combat or work on insecurities. I'm not going to list all 10 because that would take a lot of time. But I'm going to list 6 that I thought was very relevant to this particular video. I want to make sure to briefly go over them with you. The first way you can try to combat insecurity is confront your feelings head on and don't run from them. Confront your feelings head on, and just, hey, look, don't run from them. Look, I feel insecure, or I feel a little iffy about this because of this, and just admit it to yourself. Don't try to ignore it and say, nah, I'm going away. It'll go away. It'll fix itself. No, you got to confront that. If you're having some issues at work, if you're having some issues with the relationship, or you have some issues with yourself, you have to admit it. Look, I have an issue with this. I have a problem with this. I'm going to confront that problem head on. I'm not going to ignore it and just hope that it goes away. You got to put in the work to make it go away, or you got to have that uncomfortable conversation to make it go away, or to at least remedy it, or at least put it on the track to being fixed or getting over it. If not, it's just going to fester and it's going to explode. And when it explodes, it's going to be quite nasty. You gotta have the second thing you got to do to try to fix insecurity is to have a growth-minded mindset. Always growing, always improving, always trying to become the best version of yourself. You have to have that type of mindset. You also have to set realistic goals. I've listened to talks, videos from Tyler Perry, from Steve Harvey, and from Oprah Winfrey, which are very 3 successful people, and they all said they have a goal board. They write stuff down, and as they get to that particular goal, they strike it off and mark it off and create new goals. You have to always strive for goals, reasonable goals, realistic goals. And Steve Harvey always talk about having dreams. You gotta have a dream, but you gotta have a realistic dream. You gotta have it don't even have to be realistic. If you got a dream, you gotta plot a roadmap to it. You have to. If you don't know how to get there, then you gotta plot. Let me give you a prime example. If you're trying to go to somewhere you've never been before, in the olden days, before GPS, you had to get you a map and we'll plot point A, B, C, D, whatever, plot that course and follow it. Now you can just plot the course, and now it's so sophisticated you can put like stops in there. So if you want to get to 1600 Washington Street, whatever, in Washington, D.C., from where I'm at here now in South Carolina, I hit GPS and it'll show me several different ways, usually 3 different ways I can get there, and also a time. The same thing you got to do with trying to be insecure or trying to break that mold is you got to have goals in your mind, be goal oriented, but you got to sit down and plot how I'm going to do this. Step 1, I'm going to do this. Step 2, I'm going to do that. Step 3, I'm going to do that. If you write down your goals and you are actively achieving your goals and marking them off, that's going to give you more confidence in your ability and what you're doing. That's going to help combat any insecurity that you may have. So it's definitely good to have the right mindset and to make sure you be goal oriented. Third thing is prepare for setbacks. In every endeavor that we do, a lot of times there are going to be setbacks, but setbacks are also learning tools. Failure can be a tremendous learning tool because then it teaches you what not to do, or you know that this is not going to work. So prepare for setbacks because allow yourself to have setbacks because you're not going to always hit a home run. You're not always going to hit a triple. You're not always going to hit a double. You're not always going to hit a single. Sometimes you're going to strike out, but you're going to sit down that time, but make sure you prepare yourself the next time at bat. You do something different. You have a different stance or a different swing or something. So next time, if you fail the first time at something and then you go for a second, third, fourth time, however many times it takes to succeed, make sure that you prepare yourself by studying more or doing a different technique or learning different skills to help improve your passer rate. Fourth thing you're going to do is challenge negative thoughts and think critically. If you start thinking negative, you got to get out of that mindset. You got to get out of that mindset of negativity. You got to start thinking positive. You got to start looking at situations and saying that the glass is half full, not half empty. A lot of times you look at stuff and like, be negative and pessimistic. It ain't gonna work. It can't work because of this. Yes, it can work. You just got to make sure you look at all angles of it. Prepare for stuff and ask questions. You're not going to know everything yourself. You see somebody successful in a position or a place or a financial place you want to be or the kind of house you want, the kind of car they have. If you really want that, you're going to find out what they do and then try to emulate that or take certain aspects of it, add it to your own, and then make sure that the plan that you formulate is sound. If you do that, then you can be very, very successful. But there's always going to be some setbacks now, so just make sure. And there's always going to be people there's always going to be some negative thoughts and doubts. Just got to change your mindset. Just change your mindset. Always try to find a silver lining in every bad situation. Fifth thing you can do is embrace your characteristics and your passions. If you're passionate about something, then you got to embrace that. I know an individual I used to work with. He wants to be a professional wrestler, so he resigned from the job he's currently doing, and now he's over in Texas living his dream, trying to become the professional wrestler. It's something I don't think I could do, but he has a desire, and I feel I admire that, man. He said it was a childhood dream when I spoke to this individual. And he's over there living his dream, and I hope he's very successful. I hope that he goes over there and he makes it, he kills it, and becomes what he wants to do in life and be that wrestler. But a lot of people don't embrace their passions or don't embrace their dreams and stuff. You have to embrace your dream and just realize that and the characteristics that you have, and it's like if they're good characteristics, then you build on that. If you got some bad characteristics, you got to change that. You got to change your mindset. You have to currently keep evolving. Always be evolving. Always try to update your resume. Try to update your characteristics. Try to update your mind, your thinking process. You always have to keep updating yourself. Keep hitting that refresh button. Refresh. If you don't refresh the button, sometimes things can get stale and stagnant. You don't want to get stale and stagnant. You want to keep improving. Always try to become the better version of yourself. And the sixth thing you can do is let go of people and situations that are always negative. Whenever you tell your so-called friend or somebody something, they're always showing you the negative side of stuff. Nah, I wouldn't do that. You can't do that because this, and this. Don't do that. It's just going to fail. You're not going to, who's going to do that for you? You're not good enough for that, If you get a bunch of people like that, guess what? There's this song that says, if you hang with 9 broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th one. Guess what? If you hang with 9 pessimistic, negative people, you are going to be the 10th one, and you don't want to be negative. If you want to be successful, if you want to get things, you want to prosper, you have to put yourself in a conducive environment. Remember last week I was talking about a good seed in bad soil, guess what? You gotta get yourself out of that bad soil. If you don't, it's gonna suck up all your nutrients and you're just gonna be a shell of yourself. You have to get yourself in good soil. You have to get yourself around people that are positive, people that are energetic, people that want to see you succeed, and people who are succeeding themselves. That is a definite way to combat insecurity. Last but not least, Moses, back in the biblical days, he was very insecure. He was insecure so much that it angered God because Moses did not want to go back and do what God wanted to as far as freeing the Israelites from Egypt. So God, what he did, he got Moses' brother Aaron to go with him because Aaron was better well spoken than Moses was, and Moses was able to do what God wanted with the help of Aaron, and he got over his insecurity as he saw that God was with him and God performed and did everything he said he was going to do, and God was with Moses. Moses became more secure, but at first he was very insecure. He did not want to do that, did not want to go back, did not want to listen to what God said, but God had a vision, God had a mission, God had a plan, and he told Moses, you are it. I'm going to give you help in the form of your brother, but you're going back there and you're going to do what I say and you're going to be successful. So being successful, listening, being obeying, putting in the work, doing things. Sometimes when you look at those butterflies in your stomach and you feel a little nervous and stuff, you got to be able to combat your fear. It's okay to be scared. It's not okay to be terrified. So you got to combat your fear. You got to get over your fear and just go ahead and do the stuff. And once you do it and become more comfortable, then you will have less anxiousness. You'll be less uncertain, and you will not be insecure anymore. That's just my 2 cents on that particular word. I hope that whatever I said made sense to you and resonate with you. If it's new information that you never heard, I'm glad I was able to provide it. Before I get out of here, I'm going to read the quote of the day, or the quote about insecurity. And the quote that I'm going to read says, think about all that you are instead of all that you are not. Again, the quote of the day for insecure is, think about all that you are instead of all that you are not. If this is the first time you ever see me on this platform, please hit the notification bell. I don't want you to miss any material that I upload. Also, please hit that subscribe button. Also, give me that thumbs up, the like button. I need that. Also, read my comments. Because if you send a comment, you take the time out to type me and send me a comment, I will definitely read it and respond back to you. And last but not least, any video that I do, I need you to watch it from beginning to the end. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. Tomorrow, I'll be back, same bat time, same bat channel here at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and with another word, another quote, another scripture. I hope that you all have a fantastic day. Make sure you get your shoes on early in the morning, about 6:55. Get here by your device. You're going to watch your own, string them up real tight, because guess what? We're going to continue to walk on this road to wisdom, and we're going to make it. Until tomorrow, have a good day.